Hey, what's going on? This is Mike Styles back with another episode of the Mike Styles Experience. I want to thank everybody here in the United States and across the world for taking the time to check in. Listen, go over to iTunes and leave me a review. Also, subscribe, share, and download this from whatever platform you use to listen to podcasts on. All right, so this week I wanted to ask a question. Is there a right path in life? I ask this question because I think it's a common thing to think about when we reach certain points in our lives. It's that point where you're always wondering about your life's direction. And I believe that all of us look to find meaning, purpose, and fulfillment, with our limited time here on earth. And this can be a difficult thing to do, especially when we hear phrases like, do what you love, follow your passion. We hear that all the time. And so in our attempts to find the so-called right path, we then believe that this will fix all of the problems that we have or will have. When we think about, finding the right path, we kind of, find ourselves glued to it. You know what I mean? And it's often that we are afraid to break away from that path. And we get comfortable with sticking to the same routines and habits because it's easier that way. And this fear keeps us from having new experiences. We don't realize that we don't have to stick to the same path forever. And this fear and doubt is what keeps us stuck. Even when we think that we're sure about the path that we're on. And as we go through life, we have to understand that our path, it could change multiple times. There's something that's, it's just something about that where I think we've got in our heads that there's something wrong with switching a path, or taking a different path or a different approach. And I look at it as our lives have a bunch of different journeys and paths that we can take. They may all be different, but I think somehow they're all intertwined. Like, for example, if you decided to move to pursue a different career, this can affect where you live and who you might meet in the process. And then this shapes us in the path that we take, which may be a lot different from what we expected. For me, having moved to Las Vegas almost 4 years ago from Atlanta, for me, it's been an awakening experience. There have been ups and downs, but that's just, I think, a part of any journey. But it's up to us to decide if we're content or doubtful about the path that we're on. If we find ourselves in doubt, then maybe it's time for a change in direction. As we continue to grow and evolve, we will find that a lot of things that matter to us before matters less, or they just don't matter at all. And this can work the opposite way. You know what I mean? Things that didn't matter to us before then start to matter more. And so when that doubt starts to kick in, we begin to wonder if we've wasted our lives by staying on a path that we believe was right for us. But let me just give you some things to kind of keep in mind when you start to have doubts about the path that you're on, and when you start feeling a little uneasy about it. This first one is to explore every possible path without emotion. Don't be afraid to explore. No idea a path is too far-fetched. If you can think it, then act on it to make it a reality. Because many times we miss out on some cool opportunities because we believe that we have to stay on the path that we pick for ourselves. And to me, that's just nonsense. You know what I mean? And I hate to sound all cliche and shit, but anything is possible. We just have to be open-minded enough to realize it and embrace it. Things change, people change all the time. Don't allow emotions such as fear, resentment, and even envy to cloud your judgment, which can very well keep you on that same path that you're looking to escape. Now, speaking of people, this next one is to embrace and build trust in people from different walks of life. And I say that because others may have been on a somewhat similar path that you're on, and they may be able to offer a different perspective. Now, for me, I'm always willing to sit down and talk with anybody with some sense about something. It kind of helps me gain a better understanding of what it is that I might be going through. I look at it as a way of keeping myself motivated and inspired by others who have transitioned from their original path. Now, this next one, I'm sure, we've all heard of Nike's slogan, which is just do it. But when it comes to changing your path, sometimes you have to just be. You see, we sit and rack our brains sometimes a little too much, and this can cause serious mental fatigue. And I've been there a lot of times, so I know what it feels like, But don't get me wrong, action is a much necessary step when you're looking for a different path. But we aren't always doing, I don't know. It's just one of those things where we aren't doing ourselves any good when we're stressed out, both mentally and physically. Because when that happens, we become so exhausted that we're too tired to explore a different path and then put action, towards that intended path. Just imagine trying to come up with and work on an idea that will put you on a different path when you're dog ass tired. I mean, really think about it. So it's okay to just do it, but don't get stuck just doing it all the time to where you're so tired that you're not even focusing or making sound decisions. It's okay to get some rest. But anyway, before I get out of here, our journey, is what makes us us. Each one is unique. And sometimes the path that we take can lead us away from negative things, or the path can lead us to positive things. We just have to have enough focus and a proper state of mind to recognize it. It doesn't matter which path you take, because ultimately you never know what's going to happen next. Don't beat yourself up over the decisions that you make. If your chosen path isn't for you, then don't be afraid to find a new one. Along this path, you may experience difficulties and challenges, but I believe that's why they're unique. You know what I'm saying? The challenges and the difficult situations that you face, make them unique. And I think that is what makes them worthy. So look for it and embrace the difficulty, embrace the challenging moments, and just keep taking action. It gets better. And also remember that just because you're on one path today, that doesn't mean that you're going to be on that same path, I don't know, maybe 5, 10, 15, maybe even 20 years from now. That shit might look totally different in the future. So, as always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and guess I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.